Recently, Softr launched their database AI agents and workflow automations, both native to the platform and both designed to help you save more time within your workflows. I built a use case that I want to walk you through now to give you an idea of how they both work. The use case for this workflow is sending cold outreach. Now, if you've done this before, you know that it takes a lot of time. So I created a workflow to help speed some of that up. What I have here is a basic CRM. What I want to show you is what happens after you've input your data here into Softr. So I'm going to add in a couple of example records, and then I'm going to walk you through how I use AI within Softr to speed up the workflow. And then I'm going to show you the automation that I've built to write my icebreaker, to write my emails, and to send everything out. Okay, you see that I have both records filled out, and you can see the AI kicking in to fill in both the company description and the icebreaker. And then you can see here that the email one has been written and added to each record, and that at least according to the CRM, the emails have been sent out. And we'll check here in a minute to see if that's actually the case. So I created two different use cases, and I'll go into a little bit more detail in the workflow automation portion of the demo. But I did that to demonstrate the branching feature in the automation. So what happens is when you fill out or when this information is added, the very first thing that starts is the company description. And I had this all handled within the column here using the AI. So we have the AI agent. We let it autofill out the field. I'm using 4.1 for the prompt. We're using the website and LinkedIn URL to write a description about the company. I want a description about the company so that I can write a personalized line or two or an icebreaker in the cold email. And we're going to allow web search because I need the AI to visit both websites or both pages so that I can actually write the company description. And then we're going to have this go when a new record is created. And then for the icebreaker portion, we're going to use the website, LinkedIn URL, and the company description to write a 2 to 3 line icebreaker to be used at the start of the email. We're going to allow web search, probably not necessary here, but left it on for this case. When a new record is created, or this is going to run when a new record is created or when an existing record has been updated. And I have found that it can be a little finicky. The icebreaker, the AI won't kick on right away, even after the company description has been written. So I have found that by turning on the existing record, I handle both sort of an edge case there to where if from a timing perspective, the company description is written and then the icebreaker, will fire right away, great. But if not, then when the company description has been updated, but it doesn't kick on, then from the existing record perspective, it should kick on the icebreaker AI. And then we don't have to worry about updating the company description and triggering another run with the AI because we skip it when a value already exists. And then we're going to have a filter here that we're only going to run this AI when the company description is not empty. And the reason being is because we want the description, we want to be able to use that to write our icebreaker. And so this handles the AI portion of it. Now let's take a look at the automation portion. What happens once we have the company description and the icebreaker filled out? How do we fill out these columns, these cells here in Softr? So here's the automation that I have built. This fires when a record meets a specific condition. And in this case, we want the icebreaker to be filled out and the email one sent column to be set to false or not checked. So it will not fire or a record will not meet that condition if this is ticked on or if this email one column for any particular record is empty. Then what it's going to do is it's going to go through this branch, and this branch we'll look at whether or not the record is a small business or agency. And for this particular use case, I did that so I can write two separate emails with two separate offers, because an agency, I would assume is a little bit larger. They have a little bit different pain points. They're also a little bit different in a different spot in terms of awareness of what I can do for them from uh, a service perspective or an offer perspective. Whereas a small business, their awareness is going to be all over the spectrum. They're probably not going to have the same type of budget an agency is going to have. They might need a little bit more hand holding. They're just two separate types of prospects. And so I used a branch to separate those. And then from there, from top to bottom, it's pretty much the same other than the copy that I wrote for the email. So here, you'll see here, the branch, it's only going to run down this branch if it's an agency. And then here you'll see it's a small business. For the writing portion, we're going to write an email. We're going to include the contact's name. We're going to start the email with the icebreaker. We're going to inform them that we can save them several hours per week, for different tasks. And we can walk them through setting up the free templates that we're sending them and offer, an additional 15 minutes of consultation or 30 minutes total. Then we're going to update the record with the copy. And then we're going to send an email. And I sent them to myself just for the purpose of this demo. But you'll see here a subject line. Here are a couple of templates. And then we're going to include the email from the previous node. And then we're going to update the record to tick the email one sent to true. So it'll actually have the check. And then we posted a message to Slack that we have sent our cold email and to the specific business that we sent it to. And it's identical down this other small business branch, except that the message here is slightly different. Rather than sending them a template, we are offering just a free 30-minute audit and consultation. And that was just for the purpose of the demo. There's no real strategic thing behind that at the moment. And then everything else is the same. So let's go ahead and check my email real quick. We should see two emails, one for the agency, one for the small business. And we do have those two emails. So here are a couple of templates. This is the one for the agency. And we have our icebreaker here. And then we have the rest of the email and our offer below that. And then here is the email for the small business. And so free audit, again, icebreaker. And then the rest of the email is our offer to see if they want to hop on a call for a free 30-minute consult with us. And then let's check Slack. And you'll see here we have two Slack messages. One for Peak Plumbing, which I believe is the small business. So Peak Plumbing, small business. And then another message for our email sent to Peak Automation, which is the agency that we sent our cold email to. All right, there you have it. An example of an actual use case that you would find out in the wild that you can build and handle 100% within the Softr platform. Now, if you've never done something like cold email before, I can confirm it takes a lot of effort to get up and running. And it didn't really take me all that long to get this built out in Softr, which I think just speaks to how intuitive it is to use. If you've not used Softr before, I recommend you check it out. They have a couple different incentives for you. If you want to check them out today, they have 500 AI credits for their database AI agents. And then they have 500 workflow actions for their workflow automations. So I recommend you check them out and see if they're a good fit for your business and your particular use cases. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, let me know below. Thanks for watching.